The beginning of the end. The story opens in a remote village in Latin America. The air is thick with humidity, and the sound of cicadas fills the background. John Keller, a former U.S. Special Forces officer, now lives a quiet life as a mechanic. He arrived here 5 years ago, hoping to leave behind the noise of politics and war. But silence doesn't last forever. One morning, a convoy of armored vehicles rolls into the village. The villagers look on in fear. These are not government forces. They belong to Unitex, a powerful private military corporation accused of land grabs in various countries. A Unitex commander, Marcos Duran, steps out and demands, "Hand over everything. This land is now under protection." John, watching from a distance, doesn't move. His instincts from his military past awaken. Something is very wrong. John visits the village council that night. The elders are worried. Many of them don't know what to do. Unitex has already seized 3 nearby villages. They offer a so-called security contract, but it's a lie. Those who refuse are removed. John suggests organizing resistance, but the people are afraid. They are farmers, teachers, craftsmen, not soldiers. That night, someone knocks on John's door. It's Raphael, a young local school teacher. He says, "If you teach us, we'll fight." John agrees to help, but only on one condition. You fight to protect, not to kill. He starts training the young men and women of the village in self-defense, basic tactics, and surveillance. Using old radios, farming tools, and scrap metal, they build a rudimentary defense system. Word spreads to nearby villages, and soon people from other communities join them. The resistance begins to grow, not just in numbers, but in unity, and Unitex returns, this time with armed patrols. They try to intimidate the villagers, but John and the others are ready. Using diversion tactics and traps, they force the soldiers to retreat. This victory echoes across the region, but also puts a target on John's back. Unitex headquarters now knows who he is. At night, drones circle overhead. Unitex begins psychological warfare, loudspeakers, threats, fake broadcasts. They offer money for John's location. One of the villagers, tempted by the reward, leaks information. A surprise raid hits the village. Homes burn. Raphael is wounded. But the community doesn't break. In fact, they become even more united. Dawn. The sky has yet to lighten. The gunfire has stopped. The earth lies still. John's house, destroyed, shattered glass, marks on the walls. But he is alive. Marco has fled. Raphael says he was wounded, but doesn't know where he went. John, having slept through the night, wakes up the next morning, gritting his teeth, speaking to himself. "I have to finish this. This isn't just land. This is the future of generations." He gathers the villagers and begins searching for the remaining Unitex equipment. Drones, documents, anything left behind. Fear lingers in the village, silent but heavy. Many remain quiet, afraid. But John earns the people's trust. He reveals who he truly is, a former U.S. special agent, but with a mission not for power, but to protect the land for the people. From the villagers, an elder named Abel steps forward to support him. "You're fighting for this land even more than we are. We can't stay silent anymore." 2 weeks later, peace doesn't last long. A new Unitex team returns, this time 12 men, highly trained. The operation is now led by Martin Salazar, a former private army general. He walks straight into the village council and begins to threaten the people. "The map must be in our hands. We're not leaving. And if anyone stands in our way, the consequences will be severe." Raphael hears this and runs to John. John uses his old radio contacts, American journalists and trusted allies, to spread the truth. They release evidence about the map to the global media. The world learns that Unitex is operating out of control. But that doesn't stop the danger. Soon, armed men begin to encircle the village. John, Raphael, and a few men create a defense plan. Women and children are moved to safe zones. John uses his old skills to set traps and build watch posts. Night falls. Darkness thickens. Unitex strikes again. But this time, they are met with unexpected resistance, traps, a united village, and John's precise strategy halt their advance. Many are injured during the firefight, but there are few deaths. John refuses to go all the way, because he doesn't want blood, he wants truth. Some of the Unitec soldiers even surrender. In the end, Martin Salazar looks John in the eye and says, "You defeated an entire system, alone. So now what?" John looks away and replies in a calm voice, "I didn't defeat anything. We just reminded them who this land really belongs to." Epilogue: the land that became a memorial. 2 months later, the area is placed under the protection of an international organization. The map is handed over to a public trust, and the natural resources begin to be used in ways that benefit the people. John continues his life. Raphael begins teaching local youth about safety and peace. In the final shot, John walks out into the field, a shovel in his hand. A voice speaks behind him. Life goes on after war, and if you know where you stand, no one can move you. A month has passed since the events. The Unitex organization is under official investigation, but some of their groups are still on the run, hiding in other regions. As for John, he has decided to stay in the village that changed his life. The villagers begin repairing the damage. John helps rebuild the destroyed community center with his own hands. His work, his humble way of speaking, and his equal treatment of everyone further strengthen the people's trust in him. Together with Raphael, they reopen the school and launch a new program to encourage youth to stay in the village. But trust doesn't always guarantee peace. Some community members start to question John's past. They confront him with doubt in their voices. "Who are you really? Why did you come here? Are you just another American?" John sits silently for a moment. Then quietly he responds, "I'm just a man like you. I had a family. I lost them. This place brought me back to life. If you trust me, I'll stay. If not, I'll leave." A few minutes later, the elder Abel speaks up. "You weren't born here, but this land accepted you as its own. Stay." News about Unitex's illegal activities in the region reaches the global media. International organizations begin putting pressure on the group. John's old contacts invite him to testify before official commissions. He flies to Washington. He speaks before Congress, cameras, lawmakers, media, all watching. John speaks briefly, clearly, and with conviction. The land belongs to the people. If private corporations and armed groups become more powerful than governments, then the world will fall into chaos. We cannot allow this. His speech sparks strong public reaction. A formal investigation into Unitex is launched. Several of its leaders are arrested. But the main players, people like Martin Salazar, escape. When John returns to the village, the atmosphere has changed. Some see him as a hero. Others see him as a symbol of international conflict. One night, at midnight, a car pulls up. John steps outside. A black SUV door opens, and Martin Salazar himself steps out. No weapon in hand. His face tired, but his eyes still burning. "I respect you, but don't believe this game is over. Every move here is backed by serious money." John looks him in the eye. "I'm not waiting for the game to end. I'm changing the rules." Martin turns silently and leaves. A small memorial is built in the village in John's honor, but he refuses to put his name on it. Only one inscription is carved: "To those who fought for this land." John helps bring life back to the village. He invites entrepreneurs for the youth, explores ways to modernize agriculture. The people begin learning how to work their own land, not just lease it away. From his house window, John looks out at the fields and speaks to himself. "I protected this land, but to keep it, we must fight every single day not to forget."